All right, Wayne Allen Root wore now. Now, you got to admit, New York Democrat, but I think a very moderate, leaning conservative Democrat on fiscal issues. I think you're a sane Democrat. The mayor de Blasio is a moron. The mayor of New York City. Is he a moron or what?
He has his problems at the moment.
Problems? That's putting it very diplomatically, Mr. Lawyer.
Well, it is, and I think a lot of those problems emanate out of the Orthodox community, where historically they think they can buy and sell politicians.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a lot of his the underbelly of his executives, his aides, are being charged or accused of quite a few different crimes.
Well,
aren't they going to turn state's evidence against him? Wouldn't you suspect?
Well, as they say, where does the rats go in a sinking ship? They look to go to shore. And there is a lot going on. And the one thing that I found quite astounding was it is not only the U.S. Attorney, Preet Bharara, who is left in his position by now President Trump, but also the Manhattan District Attorney, Cyrus Vance, is also investigating him.
Mm-hmm.
That is very telling.
Unprecedented.
Yes.
He's got big problems, Mayor de Blasio. All right. By the way, we're on with Pete Gleason, celebrity lawyer, but also more importantly, the reason he's my friend is because I love police, I love fire, I love military, I love heroes. He's the only guy I've ever met who's all three. He's former cop, former fireman, former Coast Guard. First of all, how many people are all three? That's very rare, right?
I've run into a few. And, listen, I was a kid growing up in New York. I joined the Coast Guard at 17. I enjoyed it. I took the police test at 16 and a half, became a cop at 20, enjoyed it. Took the fire test at 19, became a fireman at 21, 22 years old, enjoyed it. And
so you were only a cop for a couple of years?
3 years.
Why'd you jump out of it so fast?
Been there, done that kind of thing. And what happened was we were I was part of an initiative on the Lower East Side called Operation Pressure Point. Now the Lower East Side of Manhattan went from these burnt out buildings and these vacant lots to $3,500 a month studio apartments. So, and I just didn't have the foresight to invest in real estate at the time. Being the policeman in the area would have been a coup. And you spoke about Bill de Blasio, the mayor of New York. It is a land deal on the Lower East Side, in the very area which was the subject of Operation Pressure Point, this drug initiative, that has gotten the mayor in hot water.
Mm-hmm. So very few are both fire, police, and military. How many have you ever met that are fire, police, and military, and a lawyer today? I mean, you are one in a million.
I don't know anybody with that pedigree.
Yeah, because lawyers are very rarely ex-cops. Lawyers are very rarely. I've never met a lawyer who's ex-fireman, and lawyers are very rarely ex-military, let alone ex-cop, ex-fire, ex-military. So you have a vast amount of experience in the real world, in the blue-collar world, and in the hero world that you just don't see with a lawyer. That's why you and I became friends. You're a pretty cool guy, man.
I haven't figured out what I want to be.
You're a pretty cool guy. A guy named War only hangs out with people like you. Other lawyers are excluded from this room. This hallowed land is not for lawyers. You were a Trump voter this time around, correct?
I did vote for Donald Trump.
He's willing to admit it. How about that? I got him to admit that.
He
admitted it on the air. But what I don't understand is Donald Trump's a very New York, blue-collar New Yorkers could like a Donald Trump if they'd ever liked a Republican. And yet, Donald Trump still lost New York State very badly. And lost Manhattan by numbers I've never seen before. I think he lost like 85% of the vote in Manhattan. What is the deal with that? Why is the rest of Manhattan so snobby and elitist, and you're not?
I think there is probably, my guess is there's a lot of jealousy. Donald Trump has done it his way his entire life. His detractors say, oh, well, he was born with a silver spoon in his mouth.
He was, but I never met a guy born with a silver spoon who did more with it in my life. In other words, Donald is the only rich kid I ever met who did much better than his rich father and risked it all again and again, almost lost it all, and took it to the pinnacle and became one of the most famous men in the world. Today, he's the most famous man in the world, right? I mean, nobody's more famous than Donald Trump.
He is a brilliant man at branding himself.
Right. Correct. He's as good as branding and promotion as anyone we've seen since P.T. Barnum. That was the last guy that good at branding.
And there are people who are in various industries that are jealous of it. Jealousy is probably the greatest motivator that man has ever known.
Right. Well, a lot of jealous New Yorkers, but New York also made Donald Trump, and I always argued. People ask, how the hell did Wayne Root know from the first day and predict publicly, have the balls to predict Trump would win? And it's because I have that New York personality like he does. I love people that are high energy. I love people that bigger than life personality. I love people that are entertainers, but also aggressive and combative and in your face and relentless, never let themselves get knocked down for long. They get back up. Those are all ways to describe Donald Trump. He is all of that rolled into one. And I kept saying to everybody, that's the next president of the United States, that kind of personality. And it worked out that I was right.
And you know, the most formidable opponent you can ever have is somebody who's not afraid to lose. I take a lot of cases that people say, oh, that's a losing case. But when you sit down with the client and say, you know, this is a very difficult case, and the client actually acknowledges it, that it's a difficult case, and then allows you to represent them zealously,
that's the best kind of client.
I've pulled some rabbits out of the hat doing that. And Donald Trump, during his presidency, he wasn't afraid to lose. He was not afraid to lose, and that scares the hell out of people.
Right, you have to play to win. And look, I've always said that. I've argued for years that in football, the team that wins is always the one that when it's supposed to run, they throw. When you're supposed to throw, they run. They do things that you just can't believe. They pull rabbits out of hats because no one expects it. And that's what wins you. You can't be afraid to lose if you want to win.
That is exactly what happened in the last Super Bowl.
Right.
The Falcons, all they had to do was run the clock down. They won the game.
Yeah.
And they got nervous.
Yeah, they got nervous, no question. Crazy. They threw it 3 times in a row, went backwards, and I had the New England Patriots in that game as my bet, by the way, so I was very happy about that. Before we say goodbye to our good friend Pete Gleason, I want to ask you about our old friend Frank Serpico. Everyone remembers the movie Serpico, one of the great cops fighting corruption in the history of New York City, who outed the entire drug, the drug division, would you call it? Narcs?
Yeah.
Every narc cop, a detective in New York City, was outed as on the take. Pretty much the entire team was on the take.
Well, the way it was described was you had meat eaters, those were the people really glomming. And then you had grass eaters, those were the people that were going along to get along.
But everybody was one or the other in those days in the narcotics detectives division of the New York City Police Department, right? It was almost everybody.
If there was systemic corruption within the police department, and the point, I guess, is where did that corruption go? It just migrates to other levels of government.
Right.
And, you know, Frank is still very active with this. Frank has been opining on the judiciary. Frank has experienced firsthand encounters where he lives in upstate New York with the district attorney's office, with some of the judiciary. It's very frustrating when you see a judge sitting there, and it's been publicly reported that this judge was involved in some form of corruption. But the problem is, when you take down one corrupt entity, everything that is attached to that corrupt entity also goes down. And anytime, if you're looking to root corruption out, the individuals doing that, and this is the de Blasio dilemma. If they take de Blasio down, who goes down with de Blasio? So, you know,
or if they take all of those below de Blasio down, does de Blasio go down with them? In other words, are they going to rat on de Blasio? By the way, that was what I always said should have happened to Hillary Clinton. Take down all the people around her. Take down Huma. Take down Anthony Weiner. Take down all the aides of Hillary Clinton who are all dirty. And they'll all turn state's evidence against Hillary. And nobody ever did it. You and I were talking off mic about Hillary. You hear all kinds of terrible rumors about her. Still going down big time. She's scared to death.
Well, and you bring up Anthony Weiner. Anthony Weiner got Bill de Blasio elected and got Donald Trump elected. He elected both the mayor of the city of New York and the president of the United States because of his scurrilous behavior.
His sickness, his mental illness.
He's got mental illness.
Oh, serious mental illness, yeah. All right, Pete Gleason, thanks for coming on the show, my good friend. We're headed to dinner after the show because I never miss an opportunity to have some fun time with my good friend Pete. And his beautiful girlfriend Tatiana is with us here in studio. Thank you for coming down from New York. The celebrity attorney from page 6 of the Post. You often see him in beautiful Manhattan. My good buddy Pete Gleason. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks, Mike.
When we get back, we'll take